Right, and we're live. Welcome everyone to another episode of Maybe You Should Talk. It is the podcast about nothing and everything, and as always, I am one of your hosts, John Para, and I'm joined as always by my brother and co-host
Jay Barber. How
And
you
on
doing?
today's episode, so before we get into today's episode, Jay, I do have a couple things I want to disclose. I'm a
Let's
little
go.
sick at the moment.
All right, what's going on?
I have a sore throat.
Oh,
My
that's
throat's
okay.
killing me right now, but you know
I hope
what?
you get better.
I hope so too. But we're putting it on for the team, man. I'm like Jordan with the flu game right now.
Let's go.
So I'm putting it on for the team, man. But more importantly, how are you feeling?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Allergies are kicking me a little bit, but we're here.
Yeah.
We're pulling through tonight.
We're definitely pulling through, man. And I am super excited, Jay.
Yeah, why is
Super
that?
excited because we have a special guest on the show. And can I say this? For the longest time, I've been trying to get an OnlyFans model on the show. And granted, she's more than that because she has
Yes.
more to offer than just the OnlyFans page. However, for whatever reason, Jay, I don't know what it was, but every OnlyFans model that I tried to talk to get on the show did not feel comfortable coming on the air.
Respect your privacy, bro. You know?
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, I guess so. But we found someone who is super courageous. Not only is she an OnlyFans model, but she's also an influencer. She's an entrepreneur. And she's probably one of your baby daddy's favorite Instagram models.
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by Thickgirllalla. Lala, how are you doing tonight?
Hi, I'm doing really good. How are you guys?
We're doing
Good.
well. We're doing well. We're super excited to have you. So, first and foremost, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be with us on the show. I know we originally had you scheduled for last Monday, but you got sick.
Yes, I did. Got very, very, very sick. So definitely wouldn't have been a good time. Couldn't even talk. So
Yeah. So you got hit with the new strain of COVID, and before we started recording, I was talking to Jay, and Jay didn't even know that there was a new strain out there now.
Yeah, what's going on? What is this?
So, what were the symptoms like, and when did you find out that you had the new strain?
yeah, so it was really crazy. I just went for a vacation in Toronto, and then the day that I got back, the night that I got back, I just started feeling like sore throat and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay, like I'm just run down from traveling, like it happens all the time, whatever. Then the next day, I was just like super sick, um, just like all of the regular like symptoms, like body ache, sore throat, whatever. And then the next day was like even worse. So then I ended up taking a COVID test and it was positive. And I was like, that's super weird because I felt like, or like I thought COVID was just like over or like not a thing anymore. Like you never even hear about it anymore. But yeah, I don't know. It's not confirmed that I have the new strain, but after doing a bunch of research, like apparently one of the new symptoms is viral conjunctivitis or like viral pink eye, which I ended up getting on like the fourth or fifth day of having it. And it was like so bad. Like I've never seen pink eye like this. Like my whole eye was just swollen and like crusty and pus and like all of that stuff. And like I went to bed fine, like I was sick, and then I woke up and it was just like huge,
Damn.
big, like swollen shut. I couldn't even open it. Yeah, it was crazy. So then, yeah, I like did a bunch of research, and apparently in India and like in Asia, the new strain, this like viral conjunctivitis is like going crazy right now. So that's kind of why I think it's the new strain, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was reading that too, that they were saying that one of the new symptoms from the new strain is pink eye. And now, is this the first time you've gotten COVID, or have you gotten it before many times?
I got it once before, like in December 2021 when the like Omicron strain came out. But that
Yeah.
wasn't even bad. Like that was just kind of like it was just a kind of a cold. Like I got over it in maybe like 4 days, but this was super bad. Like I literally had to go to the hospital because I couldn't breathe. Like I was just throwing up constantly. I couldn't even keep water down or anything. So I had to go get like an IV and like stay overnight in the hospital and stuff. So yeah.
But you survived. Not only did you survive once, but you survived twice. Jade, you've gotten COVID too a couple times, right?
One time,
One
a
time.
couple times, one time.
Hey man, listen,
I
you're
got
from the
it
East
late
Coast,
too.
dog.
Yeah, for real. I got it super late. I thought it was just a cold. I went to the doctor like 3 days after I was really banged up because I couldn't get rid of a cough.
Oh
And that's
damn.
when they told me I had COVID. I was like, I
Wow.
already got through this.
Yeah. We're all survivors. We're all survivors.
Survivors,
You
bro.
know,
No
and you came
different.
back. You came back strong. So I know Lala, I know we kind of gave you an introduction, but I think it's very important for the listeners to get to know you on your own words. So who are you and how did you get to where you are today?
Oh, I don't know how to answer that. Um, so I guess I'm a like longtime social media content creator. So I started kind of at the beginning of the pandemic, posting like fitness content on Instagram and TikTok. Actually, um, I had gained like in 2020 when the pandemic first started, I had gained a bunch of weight, and then I like went on this like whole fitness journey, and I like wanted to lose a bunch of weight, so I started like posting it on TikTok, and it ended up like taking off and going viral, and like um, I'm pretty curvy and have like kind of like a big booty and stuff. So I think that's part of the reason why it kind of like took off because like lots of people were asking me like how did I get that and stuff like that. And then yeah, so I just over the last like 2.5 years, I just was doing that and posting like fitness and lifestyle content and like over time, obviously I had like a lot of followers who constantly asked me about OnlyFans and if I had an OnlyFans and if I did it and stuff. And before I didn't, but then like I wanted to, but I was in a sort of like a toxic relationship at the time. And the guy that I was with was like, hell no,
Hell
like,
no.
yeah, he was like, no, like, whatever. Um, so I didn't end up doing it. Like I wish I would have started earlier because I feel like obviously I would be like bigger and stuff now if I did it when I actually wanted to. Anyways, like closer to the end of our relationship, I think when him and I finally like it was just going way downhill, like he finally was like, okay, whatever, just like do it. 'Cause I think he didn't care anymore. Um, so then yeah, like end of June last year is when I like started the account. Um, uh, High requests from my followers on Instagram and TikTok, and then
That just sounds funny.
Those DMs must have been lit.
yeah, and then I kind of didn't really take it seriously at all, like, and I wasn't posting anything too crazy. Like it was pretty much just like bra and underwear, like bikini pictures, whatever. And like not very consistent for the first few months. And then him and I actually ended up breaking up and I kind of stopped for a couple months. And then once I was like kind of over that, like I started taking it more seriously, I think back in October of last year. And then since then it like really like took off and went pretty well for me. So yeah, now we're here.
So a lot of things to digest, and I think I'm curious. So your nationality,
Yeah, that was the first question I had.
that was what you were gonna ask? Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it safe to say that you're Latina?
I am not. So it's so funny.
Stop.
We're all disappointed.
No.
No, just kidding.
This is the shock of the century. Wait, what?
It's so funny because I like obviously everybody tells me that all the time, but I'm actually from Romania. So I was born in Romania and I moved to Canada when I was like 3, I think. So yeah, not Latina, but
Get out of
European.
here.
Yeah.
European. There you go.
Holy shit. I would have never pictured that. I
Oh
thought
my
you like
god.
definitely were like a mix. Like if I would have had to guess, maybe like Puerto Rican or Mexican mixed with like some European. But wow, that's crazy. So you moved to Canada, and then when did you or your family move to California?
So I don't live in California. I live in Vancouver in Canada.
Vancouver, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. For
Yeah.
whatever reason, I don't know why I thought that you lived in California, but okay. So
Yeah. No.
that's interesting. So obviously you gave us a lot of information. There's a lot to digest here. So okay. Uh during COVID you had gained weight, right? Which I think that's like I think that was everybody during the
Everybody,
time.
yeah. Everybody put on some weight.
Yeah, the gyms were closed, like all you were doing was basically eating. Were you working during that time frame?
Um, so I was still in school at that time. Like I was doing my master's and I had we just went online during that time and then I had like 1.5 years left. So I graduated in spring of 2021. But yeah, I was working at a tanning salon actually, and I was in school, but then the tanning salon job just like I didn't quit, I didn't get fired, like it just kind of like disappeared into thin air and no one ever like contacted me after like anything like that. Like it kind of just went, I don't know. Um so I no, I wasn't working at that time. I was collecting like the government subsidies for people who like had lost their job or whatever. Um I'm just trying to think. Yeah, no, so I was just basically doing school, like pulling all-nighters all the time. I was depressed because of like COVID and stuff. Like I was binge eating a lot of like candy, chips, snacks, whatever, and just like living like a super unhealthy lifestyle. Um, and then yeah, like closer to 2021 is when I was like I think I started in February 2021 is when I like started my accounts, and that's when I started kind of like honing everything in and like trying to stop with the like bad lifestyle.
You know what's crazy though, because I know you had mentioned that you were in a toxic relationship, and originally your boyfriend was like opposed to the idea. I think for the most part, that would probably be the majority of men. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay, like if your significant other told you that she wanted to open up an OnlyFans account, how would you feel about that?
I would say to just do a toes only, feet only. Feet only for the foot fetishes.
But I feel like that's how it starts, right? And then it's only a matter of time before
A camera
eventually.
starts creeping up.
Yeah, so you had mentioned Lala that originally it was very just, like suggestive photos with like a bikini or a bra or lingerie. When did you decided to finally say, you know what, fuck it, I'm taking everything off?
I don't know. I don't know. It's exactly what you said. It's like a gradual thing. Like I just got more comfortable and then that was like I was making money and it was to a point where I was like, okay, well, like people have already seen one half, they're seen the other half, like might as well just like put it all together and like
Just drop it.
yeah.
Bam.
No,
Yeah.
like it's a wild, wild thing, right? And obviously, like I'm sure like OnlyFans, it's like its own different fucking world, right? So for the guys that are just tuning in and are interested in following you on OnlyFans or interested in creating an account just to follow other models, what are some like rules that you have for people that follow you? Like, what are some hard no nos?
Um so I won't do anything anal, like that's just not my thing. Um I I don't really like show my face that much. Like if it's like super explicit, I don't really show my face that much, but other than that, like I don't know. I think I've pretty much done most of what like people have asked me. If it's obvious, I've gotten some weird requests.
I'm sure you have. Like
And that is
like
That's
Like,
actually a good segue because so not to cut you off, but I think this is pretty funny. So we have people in my job that listen to the show and they're big fans. And when I told them that I had an OnlyFans model that was coming on to the show, they actually pulled together a list of questions that they wanted to ask me, that they wanted to ask you rather. So shout out to the production, I call them. And that
It's
was one
not
of the
really a
questions that
production, Lala.
it's not.
Just
It's really not.
saying.
It's really not a production. But that was actually one of the questions that was on here, which was, what is the craziest, weirdest thing someone's asked you to do?
I don't even know if am I allowed to even like talk that explicitly on
Yeah,
here?
yeah. Listen, this is not a kid's show. So for the record, if you're listening to this
Yeah.
and you have kids in the car right now,
Turn
you
it
might want to
off.
turn this off and come back to it when you're by yourself. So now that we have that PSA, the floor is all yours.
So yeah, so I would say the weirdest one I've gotten so far is like period content.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yo,
I'm
that's
not I'm really not joking. And
nah, I believe you.
What?
I was just saying.
Period content.
I've not done that because first of all it's weird, and second of all, like OnlyFans actually it goes against like the guidelines. So if you do that, like they'll ban you. But yeah, somebody asked me like when I would be on my period, and then they asked me like if I could send them videos of me like taking my tampon out and then like sending it to them and like stuff like that. And I was horrified, but also like really sort of like curious about it. So I went and did like a deep dive. I did like a deep dive research on it, like on Reddit, and there's like it's like a thing. Like there's like Reddit subreddits of like people just like strictly posting that type of stuff. Like viewer discretion is advised, I would say.
Wow.
Jay, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, I'm at lost for words real quick. So go ahead. You go.
no, like, you know what it's like? I thought, like, I know there's a lot of weird people out there with like certain fetishes, but never in a million years did I think that a guy would go on OnlyFans and request that. So did he like throw a large amount of money for you to kind of fulfill that request?
There wasn't even anything. They were just like, tell me how much. And I kind of was just like, no, like,
No,
I'm
thank
good.
you.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Do you think that like if someone were to throw, hypothetically speaking, like $3,000 just in one shot for you to do something like that, would you consider it? Because I feel like for the most part, like everybody has a price.
No, I don't think so. Like, I think that's just kind of crossing a line. Like, that's like literally your like DNA, and I don't know. It's just weird. Like, I don't think I would do that. No.
It's like yo, like OnlyFans is a fucking weird ass place, right? Because I'm sure that's not the only weird request. Like I've heard stories of like guys that are into, and I forget the exact terminology for what it's called, but like a mother and son relationship where they're like,
Okay, yeah.
yeah. So like, do you know what that's called?
I don't
It's fucking mama
know what
trauma
it's
or some
called.
shit. That's what that shit is.
Not had that.
So no one's
I've heard of that, but I know no one has come to me with like anything like that. No. To be honest, like everything's been like decently tame so far. Like there's been like a couple weird ones or like fetishes, but like yeah,
all right. So
not
wait,
and not yeah.
what?
I gotta
What?
ask, yeah.
Yeah, we have to ask.
Yeah,
What were the weird ones?
Yeah, what were the weird ones now that we're already here?
So there was like that one, and then it was just like the other like typical fetishes. It was just like feet, um, like tying your hands up, like just stuff like that, like pretty soft
Bondage.
stuff. Yeah, like nothing too crazy. So
Damn. That's fucking crazy. And then like I know like for the most part too, like you know what's weird about OnlyFans too? Like it's sort of like a fast food restaurant of like titties and ass. Right? And what I mean by that is that like a lot let me explain. There's a thought process behind this, Jay. It's like, you know, when you go to like McDonald's and like they have like a menu, like let me get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hmm.
It's like the same thing, but like differently, obviously, right? Like for example, like if you want an ass pick, it's like $5. If you want, titties, it's like 10. If you want the whole package, it's 20. So do you kind of like model your same page in that format, Lala?
Yeah, so I do. So I have like a content menu, I guess, is what it's called. And I have kind of like a bunch of pre-recorded content and like different categories. So if someone like signs up to my page and they like see something that they want right away, like I have like pre-recorded stuff. But then I also like do take custom requests. So they'll be like, "Oh, can you like say my name in this video?" And then I'll like charge more for that. And like, yeah, I don't know. I've never really, I've honestly like, I really don't get the like say my name like during sex thing. Like I've never understood it. I don't know. Maybe you guys have an opinion. It seems to be
Nah,
like
like
a guy thing. Like I don't know.
So
you know what?
masculine.
That no, like
I feel empowered.
that's probably what it is, honestly.
Yeah.
But I don't think, in my personal experience, have I ever told a woman say my name. It's like you know my name,
Yeah.
like
I'm
like you know who
already
I am.
here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah, like I don't understand. That's a good question. I think to Jay's point though, man, I think it's like a sense of like empowerment, like
Yeah.
like I'm the one that's
Yeah.
fucking you right now.
Yeah, I think like also for the custom content, like I think they want that because then they know it's not going to be like sent to like other people, I guess, because it'll like have their name
Ah,
in it.
that's true.
Um, but yeah.
For the OnlyFans
Gotcha. That makes
professionals.
sense. So like the possession piece of it. So
Mhm.
have you ever had someone reach out to you and try to start a relationship with you outside of OnlyFans?
Yes, so people ask me all the time to like meet up, but I just tell
Hard
them
no.
like immediately no. Yeah.
Hard no. Boop.
Yeah, because there's a lot of like weirdos out there, especially if like you're asking for like fucking blood content and stuff like that. Like, could you imagine trying to meet that guy? Like it's
Nah.
it's yeah, right. Like it's nuts.
Nah, don't even do it.
It's scary. It's scary. Like so I actually follow a lot of other like models and stuff, OnlyFans models and um I know some of them do like weird sort of like giveaways on their page where they'll like meet a fan and like make content with a fan and they do like a draw like and people tip them and whoever tips them the most. I don't know. I've never done that though. Like I'm currently in a relationship, so meeting up with somebody would just be like not a thing anyways.
That's an interesting dynamic. So does he know that you have an OnlyFans page?
He does, yeah.
And what's
So
his what's his thoughts on it?
he's totally supportive. I'm actually trying to get him in some of my content, but
Shout out to him.
I I think I mean it's kind of a hard sell like obviously not everybody is so comfortable to even post on social media. Like for example, like he doesn't even post on social media, so like to get someone to like do that is like really hard, I guess. But like otherwise he's completely supportive. Before we ever got together, I was like, look, I have an OnlyFans, this is what it is. Like if you don't agree with that, then like we can cut it off right now. So it was just a matter of like being honest from the very beginning. And then yeah.
Yeah, like I'll be honest with you. Like I can't even pee in the stall if someone's next to me. So
You fucking kidding me, bro? Are you serious?
yeah, I can't. I have a shot bladder, bro. What do you want me to do?
I
So now,
feel that. I get like
thank
that
you.
too.
See, she feels me. So then it's like to have a camera in your face and you're trying to get like intimate with your girl, like that's a whole different level. Like Jay, would you be able to do that?
Yeah, I could definitely do it. I don't know if I would publicize it, like if I would make it public. The camera being there is not a problem.
So like, have you
It's
guys tried
also
it?
no, so not yet. So that's the thing. Like it's also hard because I feel um like when we're intimate, like it's obviously usually very spontaneous. So it's not like we're like, okay, we're gonna
Let's set
film
this up.
something with
Let's set
like,
up the stage real
yeah,
quick, like the set.
with like the intention of like filming. So I don't know what it's gonna take to actually like do that, because usually it's just so spontaneous that like it just doesn't happen. We did go on vacation like 2 weeks ago before I got COVID, and we were like staying in a fancy hotel, and he was like, okay, we're gonna do it in like this fancy hotel and stuff, but it just like again never ended up happening. So I don't know.
That's tough because it's like, think about it, right? Like, you don't know who's following you, you know? And then imagine it's like your uncle or somebody like that, bro. Like, that's fucking wild. Have you like have you found out that someone that you know follows you on OnlyFans?
Yeah, so definitely I've had some issues with it, like people from my hometown who like I went to high school with. They like, this was close to the beginning, like, so this was before I knew you could like block certain regions from accessing it.
Mhm.
Oh shit.
Um, but people from my hometown, when I first started, they would like message me and like be like, "Oh, I used to go to high school with you, and like I always thought you were hot," and like blah blah, blah. And it's just like, okay, like if I didn't talk to you back then, like I'm not gonna
Now
talk
you
to
gotta
you now.
subscribe for me to talk to you, basically.
Um, so yeah, there was like that, like guys from like my hometown in high school, and then also like I've had some issues with girls who I have like used to be friends with, who I like fell out with, and they were like super sort of like bitchy and dramatic, and then they like are super weird and would like I knew it was them. They would like subscribe and like buy my content, and then like send it in their group chats and like make fun of me and like laugh about me, and it's like, you guys are so weird to be
They, s-
doing that.
they
Like,
still bought it.
I
Yeah.
know, but it's like the who is the joke really on? Like, you guys are paying like hundreds of dollars to like laugh at me, but like you're paid, like I don't know, it's a weird one.
Yeah, you know what that is? That fucking hating is what they're doing.
Yes, full blown
Yeah.
hate.
Yeah, they're fucking hating
While
the
spending money on you. That's amazing.
yeah.
You're the winner.
It makes no sense to me. Like I could never, but I
Yeah.
don't know. I think people probably are just like innately curious, so they probably signed up and just like wanted to see, and then I don't know. It is what it is. Like,
Ye- you know what it is? I think every girl that's out there has thought about opening up an OnlyFans page at one point in their life. And it's only because, like, you see these articles and it's like former teacher, retires from teaching to be an
Yeah.
OnlyFans model, making 600 grand a month,
Like, how do you
fucking
go back to a
lawyers.
career after that?
Yeah.
yeah.
Lawyers are quitting their practice to fucking get on OnlyFans and just live off that. So the whole family dynamic thing too is, I think, another reason why most people shy away from it. So does your family know that you have an OnlyFans page?
So yeah, well, my dad doesn't know, but he's also very like, he doesn't know like anything about social, like he doesn't even know what OnlyFans is. My mom knows, and she's like totally supportive. Like she's actually helping me do my like taxes and stuff right now.
Shout out to mom.
Shout out mom. She's a real one,
But
yo. That's good to
so,
hear, yo. That's love though.
um, yeah, no, like that's the thing too. Like the same thing sort of happened to me. Like I said before, I was in my master's. Like I'm highly educated. I have like 3 degrees. I'm a designer and like an architect. Um, but I make so much money on there, like, and have so much more free time. So it's like, why?
For
I don't
real.
know.
We feel
Like
you.
Listen,
I went
if
to school for 8 years for something, but like to get paid, I don't know, like super, like architects don't get paid that much, to be honest. So to go to school for 8 years and then like not even make enough money to have like a good quality of life is just crazy to me. So then I totally understand like what you were saying about like lawyers and teachers and everyone like retiring, because it can literally change your life. Like it's crazy.
Nah, I could imagine. Like Jay, I'll be honest with you, man. If dick wasn't free, I would be on OnlyFans, fucking slanging that shit left and right. But nobody wants to see that, though, Jay.
That
Nobody
shit don't
wants to see
sell.
that. I don't even think Lala wants to see any more penises. Like on average,
Yeah.
Lala, how many dicks would you say and you see in a day?
Honestly, like not that much. People don't really send them back. I don't know. And like when they do, they usually like ask, and then I'm like, okay, sure, and then I just like say whatever. But I mean, it's yeah, it's not the same. It's definitely that like double standard. Like it just doesn't go both ways, I think.
Nah, it doesn't. Jay, I feel like you're you're learning so
I'm
much right
just
now.
yeah.
What's in your mind, Jay?
No, I'm just curious. This is amazing. This is entertainment right here. Just
So I'm sure you've seen a lot of like nasty shit, right? So like when a guy like asks you like, all right, hey, can I send you my dick pic, I guess. Does he like ask you to rate his dick? Like, does he want you to comment on it? Like, what exactly is that conversation?
Yeah, so that would come at a cost. Like if they want, I have gotten that. I have
Wait,
gotten
wait, hold
that.
on. What's the cost? What's the like
What's the
if
base price? What's the
yes,
base start?
if someone wanted like you to rate their cock, what would be the starting rate for that?
Like $10 for just like a text, like
That's a steal.
typing it out. And then if it's like a video, like more like it just depends on the length of the video and stuff like that. Yeah, like there that is a whole thing. Like I know a lot of models that's part of their sort of like content menu and they do that a lot. That's not really like what I do, like unless people like request it and then I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. But yeah, apparently it's like a huge thing. Like there's like categories, like you gotta rate them on like the lighting and their out, like if like the background and like the size and the like, if they're like manicured or like put together, like stuff like that.
Yo, this is like the wildest fucking thing to me that this is actually a thing, Jay. Like
Yeah, this is pretty interesting.
like this is wild. So like do they like the ones that you have rated, I guess, do they want you to be like brutally honest or do they want you to lie to them and say like it's like the biggest thing I've ever seen?
I think people want you to be honest. Yeah, like they literally like, and it's weird because that's another fetish too. It's like people want that actually just like made me think of another thing that someone said. Um,
Yeah, please share.
Share away.
I'm curious.
yeah, like they do want you to be honest. But that just made me think of this one guy who was like really into feet. He lived in Houston and he kept asking me to like fly me out to Houston. Like I guess he had like a foot fetish, but he also had um I can't remember what the name is, but it's like when like they get off on you like sort of like disrespecting them
Oh shit.
or like so like
uh
that's yeah, so like
I know
he
what you're
was
talking about, just yeah.
he was like, let me fly you out to Houston, like I want to be your carpet. I want you to step on me and
What?
like all this stuff.
What? Like step on like a specific body part of his or like just
Like
step on him
physically
and
step on you, like step on him.
Yeah, like just literally like my feet like be on him like a carpet, like stepping on a carpet. I don't know.
I guess.
I don't know.
that is fucking wild. Like how do you even get off to that though?
When people like all weird types of shit.
That
Yeah, it's really crazy. I really don't know what the psychology behind some of that stuff is, but yeah, that's why it made me think of it because I felt like he also would be like choke me with your feet and stuff like that. Um, which is what made me think about the dick rate. Like people want you to be honest and like sometimes like they are not big, like they don't look good, and they like get off on you like telling them that, I guess. So I don't know.
So, off the top of your head, to the best of your recollection, the last cock that you rated, how would you describe it, or how did you describe it? Was it like, did you give it a thumbs up? Was it like on a scale of 1 to 5, a 5? Was it a 2?
Uh, I would describe it as beer can.
A beer
What?
can?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Was this man
Like,
packing? Is that what I'm understanding?
no, honestly, like I was like, is that the angle or like it was just so thick, like it literally was like a beer can.
What
And I
the
was like,
fuck?
I've never seen that before. So yeah, beer can is what I thought.
Wow.
So be honest with us. Did that turn you on? Were you like slightly turned on by that?
I was not. I was like, how could anybody even like,
Receive?
I don't know, receive that because it's just too much. Like, I don't know.
Which is like,
Yeah.
it's like one of those things, right? Because like a lot of guys are always concerned about, the size of the boat. So in your personal experience, right? Is it the size of the boat or is it the motion in the ocean?
Definitely the motion in the ocean, and I don't like probably 90% of the time I don't even think it has to do with their dick in general. You know?
Dropping bars,
Like,
Jay.
She dropped the bar on that one right there.
I mean, yeah, like I don't think it's a secret that most women don't like get off by being penetrated. So like honestly, like even having a dick like doesn't even matter as much as doing other stuff. So
Like the foreplay and the emotional connection. Because I think that's one of the travesties that a lot of men do. Because for what it's worth, I think a lot of men are selfish when it comes to the bedroom. And like you correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like most men just go in, they're trying to get their nut off, and then it's like, all right, bam, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Party's over.
Yeah. So like your ideal like sexual partner, or what makes a man a good sexual partner? Is it the fact that they take their time, that they focus on the foreplay? Like, what's your description of a good sex partner?
yeah, definitely the foreplay. Like I don't think there's anything, and also I think like foreplay begins before the bedroom as well, right? Like it's not like you can have a whole day of like flirting and like leading up to that that will, you know, make it so much better for the girl. So I think, and like honestly, like in my experience, most sex like doesn't actually like last as long as you would think. So I think for the most part, like everything leading up before is for the girl, and then like the ending is just for the guy, like being penetrated. Like obviously that can feel good as well, but it's not the main event, the main card.
There you go.
Guys, if you're listening, please make sure to take notes.
Yeah, dogs. Take it out for a drink. Just share some energies.
You know what's interesting too, Lala, is that you seem actually rather extremely comfortable talking about sex and about your experiences. So, were you always like that, or did it take some time for you to kind of open up into like the sexual side of yourself?
I feel like I've kind of always been like that. Like even pre OnlyFans, like I think I've always been a pretty sort of like open person and stuff like that. Like I think the culture that I'm from, like this is actually something that I've been thinking about a lot lately is like I think in Western culture, sort of people are kind of like really shamed all the time and like, like there's all this like thing about like if women are curvy, like they look slutty and like cleavage and all that stuff. But I think like where I come from, like society sort of like embraces that more. So it's more normal to like see a curvy woman and like appreciate it rather than like it being suppressed and then like all these guys being like so horny and turned on because they're being like suppressed from it like at large, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does. And I know you had mentioned the whole concept about your curves. Were your curves something that you always appreciated from the start, or did you kind of grow into that? Because I know some women in the beginning, they're kind of like ashamed of their curves, but in time they start to embrace a little bit.
Um I, I do obviously like wish I was skinnier. um I know I know like my body type would be like is like the ideal body type for like so many people. Guys and girls like can appreciate it, and I do appreciate it. Like obviously when I was a bit bigger, I was a bit more self-conscious. Now I think I've like really grown more in my confidence, but I think, yeah, like before too, it's kind of hard sometimes, exactly what I'm saying with this like Western culture thing. Like, I think it's hard being curvy because like everything you wear just is overly sexual because you just have curves.
There you
So
go.
like
Yeah.
I could wear the same thing as somebody else, but it like looks so different on me because I have like big boobs and a big bum and stuff like that. So like you get so much more attention, and then people think that you're just like showing off when like in reality like that's just the way that your like body is. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it's sometimes it is sometimes like a source of insecurity because I feel like people will be like staring at me, and then I'm like, I don't like, especially like in a professional place like a work environment or something, like it's like, everybody's pretty normal looking, and then there's like me coming in with like dress pants with like a big booty, and I'm like, the
Take
partners
over
of
the
this
room.
firm, I'm like thinking in my head, like the partners of this firm who are like 80 years old, like they for sure are looking at my ass, like even though it's covered, like you can see it and it just like stands out. So yeah, sometimes it is a source of like insecurity, weirdly enough.
No, I could definitely imagine that, especially if like all eyes are on you, right? So, has anyone at your job ever tried to like hit on you and say, "Hey, what are you doing later?"
No, no, literally never. Yeah.
Really? Would
Well,
you?
I'm so very surprised by that answer.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty surprising thing. Would you ever? And I know obviously you're in a relationship right now, but if you were single, would you ever get involved with somebody from work?
Yeah, I think it depends on the context. Like, obviously, if like that person and I had like a connection, I wouldn't be opposed to like getting with them for sure.
Yeah, because I know
But
some
it
people.
depends.
Yeah, like I know some people don't like to mix like business with pleasure and stuff like that, just because of like how everything could kind of play
Hmm.
out and stuff. It could get a little messy. Jay, you're smiling.
Yeah, I wouldn't do anything with anybody at work. It's just me.
So,
I did once actually hook up with someone from work when I used to work at a restaurant. Um, and it didn't work out, and then we still worked together, but it was like fine. Like it wasn't a big deal. So,
you know what's crazy too? So, like, all right, so by hookup, do you mean like kiss? Do you mean like having sex? Because like I was having this conversation with my younger brother, and he was like, "Oh, I hooked up with the girl," and I was like, "Oh, so you guys kissed?" He's like, "No, no, we had sex." I'm like, "Wait, what? Like, what is the definition of hooking up now?" So, by hooking up, do you mean like kissing? Do you mean like having sex?
yeah, like I would say having like I think like it can mean multiple things, but yeah, I do mean having sex. Like we saw each other for like 3 or 4 weeks, and then it just like didn't work out. So it
Damn.
was like whatever. Yeah.
Relationships are tough. Relationships are tough, especially given like the what you're doing now and stuff like that. Do you have like any Are there any fantasies that you have?
Um, what's funny? I always thought I had like what is it called? Like voyeurism, voyeur, like fantasy where people like watch you,
Oh, watch you.
which is like funny because that makes sense of why I'm like comfortable doing what I do, because if I have like a voyeur fantasy, like
It's being fulfilled.
yeah.
When did that kind of click that you sort of like were into that? Was it like when you started getting like the reactions when you were posting your stuff on OnlyFans?
No, I think it was before. Like I just always thought that it would be like I just always like had this like fantasy. Like people talk about I've never been to one or whatever, but like some people I know have like spoken about going to um like sex clubs or like sex parties where basically it's like I don't know if they have them like where you're from, but apparently they're like these exclusive places where you can go and like people are like hooking up with each other and like just like stuff like that is happening. So I always thought like that would be interesting to like go there and like experience that.
There was an article that I saw about that actually. It was I believe it was like a Dutch reporter, and she went into part of the thing that she was researching was actually like a swingers club. And so she went to, I guess, one in her hometown or whatever the case may be. And to kind of feel like part of the experience, she decided to have sex. And while like she was having sex, she was also interviewing them, which I thought
Wow.
was like fucking wild. Yeah. So I guess maybe that was one of her fantasies. I have no idea. But that's like an interesting thing though. So like would you like if your partner now, if your boyfriend said, "Hey, let's have a threesome or something like that for the page," would you do it? I feel like I'm helping him out.
I don't know. It's so weird. Like this is what I was saying, it doesn't go both ways. Like he's okay with me doing it, but if I feel like if he had an OnlyFans, like I wouldn't be okay with it.
Really?
It's such a
Why?
double
Why not?
I don't know. I'm jealous. Like
Possessive. What's hers
um
is hers. That's why.
yeah, I don't know. I It's so weird too because I think the concept of threesomes is like so funny because I think like guys think that it's like the ultimate fantasy because they think that it's going to be like two girls just like completely worshiping the guy. But like in my experience, like the girls kind of like each other more, and then just like the guy is like an afterthought.
Wait, hold on. Cause you said, wait, you said in your experience. So are you saying, maybe I'm reading between the lines here. Are you saying that you've had threesomes before?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and
okay.
that's what I think. Like I feel like somebody always gets mad. Like one person is always kind of like floating or like they get upset or something, and then yeah, I just feel like girls seem to be like more attracted to each other, and then like the guy is kind of just like left.
On the bench.
Yeah.
So do you feel comfortable talking about that experience? Like how did that happen where you ended up with another girl? And I'm assuming it was your partner at the time, or maybe it was like another guy.
No, this was like years ago, and it was just like drunken like stuff, but um
Shout out to the
yeah.
liquor.
Yeah. I don't know now, like knowing what I know about that from that experience, like I don't know if I would participate in that again because I'm like, is it even like good? Like isn't even worth it.
I mean, that's a valid point because I feel like I wouldn't be able to do it. One, because I feel like I would get too much in my head, right? Like, am I spending so much time with this one person? Am I not focusing on my own girl? Where do I finish? Do I finish on the girl or do I finish on my girl? Like, it's so many things that you have to consider that I'd rather just stay committed to one person,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah,
like
it's
like would you get mad, right? Let's say hypothetically speaking, you decide to have a threesome with your current partner now, and he's spending a little bit too much time on the other girl. and you're just there waiting.
Oh, 100%. I would get. That's what I'm saying. Like, one person is always gonna get mad. Like, whether it's like you getting mad at him doing that, or like him getting mad because the two girls are like too into it, or like the third person getting mad because the couple are too into it. Like, I don't know. I think it's like it's good on paper, but like not as good in practice for like actual pleasure. I think for like porn and like the performative aspect, it's probably like a good thing for people to like obviously like masturbate to and stuff, but I think like in the actual situation, like it's not what you would think.
No, that definitely makes
Makes
sense because I
sense.
think like right for like a lot of guys growing up, you watch porn and you're like conditioned to expect sex to be like a certain way, but it's not. It's not really like that, you know. Like you think that like if you choke a girl that she's gonna like that, and not every girl's the same, you
Yeah,
know.
not everybody likes
Mm.
that shit.
Yeah. Like for example, like are you into the choking? Like, do you like it when a guy chokes you?
Man, hey, cat.
And we have another guest.
um, yeah, I mean, yeah, like I think that's yeah, I think like a bit of roughness is definitely something that I would be okay with. But yeah, I know like some people are not.
Like into that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So deferring back to this list of questions here, because they would be extremely upset at me if I don't ask you this one. I think this is actually a pretty good one. So when you started making money off of OnlyFans, what was the first thing that you bought?
What was the first thing that I bought?
Yeah.
Um, I honestly like haven't really bought anything. I've just been like saving because I'm trying to like pay off my mortgage. So
Damn.
I've literally just been like banking money because I'm trying to like pay my mortgage off like before I have to remortgage it. So like I honestly haven't even really like
Splurged
bought
yourself.
that much. Yeah.
That's
That's
fucking
smart.
wild.
That's fucking smart right there. You see that, everybody? Fucking listen to Lala. Pay off your mortgage before you go buy a Benz or some dumb shit.
Believe like I want to go on trips, like I want a new car, I want all this shit, but like I feel like my mortgage is my number one priority because like so I have a mortgage. I have an apartment. It's not where I live right now. Like I live in rent. Because the apartment I have is like not it's like kind of in the suburbs. And I live in downtown because it's just like more my like vibe and stuff. So like I just that's my main priority is to get that over with, and then once that I can think about like other stuff. So hopefully that'll be good to go soon.
You know how crazy that is, Jay, to be making that much money that
I'm
like
really
your goal.
impressed.
That is some wild, wild fucking shit. So, like, how long do you see yourself doing this OnlyFans stuff? Like, do you think this is like a young woman's game where you could do it up until a certain age, or do you think it's something that you could do until you decide to say fuck it?
I do worry about the longevity of it. I think like for me personally, like my plan would be to sort of make as much money as possible. Obviously have like invest like property investments like I just said. Sort of kind of like set yourself up for a certain situation and then hopefully make enough that you can just like retire at an early age and then just like, have a place to live, have money saved up where you just like can just enjoy the rest of your life.
Right, right, right. Do you ever get tired of it though?
Oh, for sure. 100%.
She didn't even think about that shit. She knows she's tired.
Well, because I'm sure, like, do you have like a schedule as far as like, all right, like it's Monday, I got to post content, or do you just kind of post stuff when you feel like it?
No, so I do try to follow like a schedule. I haven't been the most consistent lately because I had COVID
Yeah,
and
you're
then I
pardoned. It's
was
okay. You could be
yeah,
sick.
I, I was sick and then I was on vacation and stuff. So it's been like a month since I've really like been good on there. But yeah, it's definitely stressful. Like it's like with any, it's not just OnlyFans, like it's like my other social media too. Like it's actually like a 24-hour job because making content and taking content, like not to do with OnlyFans, but like the social media aspect of it, like everything is content. So like all the time I'm like videoing everything, taking pictures of everything, and like, and then there's like editing and everything. So yeah, like it's like a full-time job for sure. Um, and it gets really stressful, especially because like the algorithms and everything are unpredictable. So when like you don't do as well as you're used to, or like you have bad weeks or bad days or whatever, like it, you can really get into your head and be like, oh my God, like, you know, things are going downhill, but, and then it's just usually like dips and, or like valleys and peaks, right?
Yeah, because I'm sure like it gets really competitive, right? Like I'm sure that the OnlyFans industry is sort of like the podcast industry, where there's like an oversaturation of just an abundance of different people. So like, what do you, or rather, what do you do to try to attract new followers to the page, whether it's TikTok, the Gram, or your OnlyFans page?
Yeah, so I mostly like promote on TikTok nowadays, but I've been having some issues with that lately because they changed their rules. So they're like, they've been flagging like every single piece of content that I have, just
Damn.
again, just because I'm like, just because I'm curvy. Literally, I could just be wearing like full clothes and I'm like doing a dance or something, and they're like not eligible for the For You page or whatever.
What?
Like they're really starting to like censor like everything. So I've been having some issues lately doing, but yeah, the majority is just promoting through TikTok and Instagram.
Have you ever had to? Because I'm sure, like, you can't really pick and choose who follows you, right? So, have you ever had to like block someone because they were being overly fucking creepy?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like sometimes people will be like rude. Like they just like expect, I don't know, like sometimes people are just super rude and like just say the weirdest things, and then I'm like, and then they're like critiquing all my content and stuff, and like this one guy, I sent like a twerking video, and he was like he bought it, and then he was like 2 out of 10, and I was like,
What?
what? I was like, why? And then he like sent me this long list saying that like I was like too close to the camera and like
Stop.
all this stuff. And I was like, okay, like, and then he was just being rude, so I just like restricted him, and yeah.
What the
Yeah.
fuck, Jay? What are your
People have
thoughts on
some
that?
nerve, yo. Like people have some nerve to do some shit like that. Like,
That is like yo, like this is like the wildest thing to me, right? Because if you're paying for content, like bro, like what the
but that's
fuck?
probably why they feel the sense that they could state an opinion like that because they're paying.
No, that definitely
Yeah.
makes sense. That definitely makes sense. But still, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Give
that's
her a
fucking
break,
wild to me.
bro. Like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Like was it like Rotten Tomatoes? You know what I'm saying? Like you're fucking giving a percentage.
It's really crazy. Like I feel like I was just chatting to my mom about this actually. I feel like once you become a public, like a public figure, or like a influencer, like anybody online that's like big, like people just like all common sense and like humanity just like goes out the window. Like they don't treat you like a person, they treat you as like a commodity or something. Like it's, I mean, it's the reason people leave so many like hate comments and stuff. Like I just don't understand it, because I would never do that, but it's just like, yeah, they just like stop treating you as a person like once you're sort of like have this like level of fame, I guess.
Nah, I could definitely see that, especially to like my co-host's point here, Jay, is that if they're paying money for it, then they're probably entitled to fucking demand more, or it's like the wildest fucking thing to me, that whole like dynamic of it. Um, did you ever think at one point that you would be like showing your face on too? Because I know a lot of OnlyFans model for the most part are very private about their identity. So were you like what made you decide to kind of just put it all on Front Street?
I don't know, like, I think it just is a gradual thing, and then at some point you're just like, I don't know, I feel like it's so normalized now that, like, our generation doesn't care as much as, like, for example, like, the older generation, so, like, even in a professional environment and stuff, like, they're people, like, our age, um, and they're, like, used to it, probably have done it or, like, pay for it or have their own one or whatever, so it's, like, become so normalized that I think at this point it's just, like, whatever.
Nah, that definitely makes sense. And so we're
Mhm.
approaching the hour mark here, and usually we like to end the podcast with asking our guest if there's anything that they would like to plug and promote. And obviously, I know you spent most of the time plugging yourself, but nonetheless, the floor is yours. Is there anything that you would like to plug or promote?
Um, I mean, I guess just my OnlyFans, TikTok, and Instagram. I don't really know how to do that, like, self-promotion, but yeah, it's at Thickgirllalla with 4 L's, like Llalla, or at Thickgirllalla, Llalla.
All right. There we go. And we'll make sure to include that information on the episode bio so that people could actually check you out and subscribe to your OnlyFans. What's the monthly subscription rate for your OnlyFans page right now?
It's $5.
That's a steal. $5. Are you thinking about ever increasing the price?
I
Yesterday's
mean
prices, not today's price.
I mean, in this economy, in inflation and everything, like, yeah, I do think about it, but it's also like, I don't know. It's a hard one because I feel like if I do that, then I'll like lose fans and like it's just this whole thing. So I don't really know how to go about it. But
All right. There we go.
mhm.
So a potential raise in the prices coming in the future, but not for sure yet. So take advantage of the
Subscribe
deal that
now.
we have going on right now. For $5, Lala, what can they find on your page?
Um, so I will chat to you like one on one. We can get to know each other, and then obviously like pictures and videos of me in varying degrees of explicitity. Um,
Hey, cat.
and
And the cat joined the
and
camera.
and yeah, like custom requests or anything. Yeah, just get to know me. I guess it's the easiest way to chat to me because I get so many DMs and stuff like on TikTok and Instagram that they just like don't even show them to me anymore. So I never see anything on there. But
All right. I feel like for the record, I'm just going to put this out on Front Street. Probably a lot of my friends are probably going to be subscribing to your page. So um, that's probably going to be an awkward experience for me. But, nonetheless, Jay, anything you want to add?
Thank you for an amazing show. That
uh,
was
it
a
was
good
very
time.
educational.
yeah. For everyone tuning in, thank you again as always. Make sure to rise up. And until next time, bye.
Peace.